Tonight, a courageous youth football coach leaped into action to help save a toddler. Emergency crews rescued both of them from an abandoned cistern in Russell Lee Park.
Now, we've been bringing you breaking news updates throughout the night on this developing story. A small child fell into the underground abandoned cistern 14 feet deep near a football field in the West Louisville Park. It happened about 7:30 tonight. You see the scenes from Sky 11. That's when the coach went in and jumped into that trench.
And we have live in-depth team coverage of this dramatic rescue. New tonight, 11 at 11's Maggie Rupert joins us live from the scene with more on why that hole was exposed and what city officials have to say.
But first, 11 at 11's Chelsea Rabideau is joining us from the scene. She covered the successful rescues. Chelsea?
That's right, guys. I want to set the scene a little bit for you out here because it's a little bit confusing where this park is. It's not really named on most maps, but it's called Russell Lee Park, and it's on there's South 34th Street in that direction. That's to the east, and then to the north is West Magnolia Avenue, and then to the south, of course, is Southern Avenue. The hole is actually in the northeastern corner of the park. I'm going to step out of the way so you can see it. It's still blocked off at this hour. There are still police officers, people from the city out here investigating. I talked to the assistant fire chief right after they pulled those two people out of the hole. They told me that they're not sure what the hole was used for. It was about 10 to 12 feet deep. It was lined with brick. It was only about 2.5 feet wide. They're calling it a cistern, but they're not really sure what it was being used for or if it had been used for quite some time. But coaches and parents out here tell me that it was a constant worry for them. A wave of relief, clapping and cheering through the crowd as 2-year-old Mayana Moore was pulled to safety.
That she's doing okay right now.
She's doing okay. I think she's just a little scared.
Yeah.
So she's in panic because, like I said, they just lost Kanitha just lost her father, and this Mayana's grandfather like 2 weeks ago. They was real close.
About an hour before, witnesses say Moore was running along the sidelines of a youth football practice. Cones had been set up around a hole after a child fell in on Tuesday. His shoulder pads stopped him from going all the way in, but the cones didn't stop little Mayana.
And she just went straight through the cones, which is a hole that we used to put combs around, and being a little kid, and she didn't pay no attention to it and fell down in the hole. It's about 11 feet deep.
Coaches and parents rushed to help. 46-year-old coach Terrence Washington jumped in after the girl.
We're all dads, so, you know, that was just an act of somebody needs to go, who's going?
Dozens of emergency crews were called in when the two couldn't get out on their own.
Earlier, they put up what we call a tripod system, lowered one of our individuals down into the hole and retrieved both of the patients.
Mayana's mother and Terrence's wife paced next to the hole while crews maneuvered the pair to the surface, one at a time. First the little girl, then the man who jumped in after her. Two very relieved families.
Oh, yeah.
God is good. And
God is good.
Just keep praying for us because we need it.
Now, Mayana was pulled out after about an hour down in that hole, and Terrence Washington was pulled out after about an hour and 15 minutes. We heard from family and friends that both are doing fine. They're more shaken up than anything. But again, people that I talked to said that they have noticed potholes and other holes out here in this park, that they've been trying to get city officials to come out and do something about it, that they had come out and cut the grass but not covered up the hole. So they went ahead and put cones around it, which again, that little girl apparently did not heed when she was running through the field. Reporting live, Chelsea Rabideau, 11 at 11.
Thank you, Chelsea. And this is a video of the man called Coach T being taken to the hospital tonight. He was alert, talking and waving to friends when he was pulled to safety. You saw it there. Here's what we have learned about Terrence Washington. He is the CEO and founder of Maddie's House here in Louisville. The West Ormsby facility is an inpatient treatment center for alcohol and drug abuse. Terrence is a father and a stepfather. And when I talked to one of his co-workers on the telephone tonight, she said he is, quote, super.
And our team coverage continuing here of this story on 11 at 11. We learned tonight while we were on the scene that the abandoned brick-lined cistern where the little girl fell has been at that park for a while. Was it blocked off? Why isn't it filled in? And these are the questions we've been asking city officials tonight who actually went to the scene. 11 at 11's Maggie Rupert is joining us live with more on what they had to say. Maggie?
Well, Doug, bottom line, they really say that it is just too early to tell what they are dealing with tonight. I spoke with Assistant Parks Director Marty Storch, who was out here with his team. He described it as a sinkhole about 24 inches in diameter, and he believes it's about 15 feet deep. They've also found at least one other depression, and they've roped those areas off. A lot of departments responded to this incident: firefighters, parks officials, and also Metro sewer officials.
It is a brick-built hole. So what it is at this point in time, is it a well, is it a sewer, is it a cistern? I'm just not sure at this point in time. That's why MSD's help is going to be so important to help us understand exactly what we're looking at.
And as we had mentioned before, we heard those holes were becoming a problem. I also asked Storch tonight if he was aware of or had received any complaints. Here's what he had to say.
I had not, and I checked with my staff who was here mowing yesterday. I've got the maintenance supervisor here. She's not aware of any comments like that. We're going to check in the morning to see if there was any Metro calls that have been made about this.
And the park will remain closed tonight. There will be a Metro police officer here on scene overnight, kind of guarding these holes and these depressions that they have found. And also, park officials will return here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. with cameras that they will try to put down into that hole to try to get some more answers. Reporting live, Maggie Rupert, 11 at 11.